I'm a Councillor Hussain, and yeah.
That's just the recording sound going out, Councillor.
Okay, yeah, okay. And I'm Councillor Hussain, I'm Councillor for Birchfield Ward. And if anybody else want to introduce themselves, Helga, you can kick off, yeah.
Hi, I'm Helga Edstrom, and I'm co-chair of the Birchfield Neighbourhood Forum.
Yeah, Mike. Mike's
got his mute on.
Where's it gone now?
No, he's got mute.
Andrew, can you hear me?
Yes, hi, Councillor Hussain. Yeah, I'm Andrew. I'm community development worker for Birchfield Big Local.
Yeah, Mike, are you still with us? Well, Mike Tai is from Birchfield Neighbourhood Forum anyway. Okay. Leslie, if you just say, well, you the host, then you, Leslie. Leslie, you...
Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself then. Yeah, Leslie Bannister, Community Governance Manager, and I'll be doing a few notes in the background.
And we have Giulietta with us. Giulietta, Pirolli.
Hi there.
Yes, and welcome to our meeting, Giulietta. And obviously, we just have one item on the agenda, but before we go on that, I just wanted to make an announcement of this notice of recording. I to advise that the virtual online meeting is being held in public, and recording will be available for public for future recording. Okay. So, Giulietta, I'm coming over to you now for this, which is a very important item. This is the item which, at the last meeting, people raised concern about and asked us if we could get somebody from your department to give us some sort of a update on this development which is taking place around Barr, and in particular the bus route we have, which has been diverted onto this Churchill Road. If you have any information on that, then you can throw some light on that. So I'm just passing the floor on to you now.
Yeah, hi, Councillor. I mean, I don't quite understand what the concern is about the diversion. It's the number 11, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, basically, they were on about the last meeting. They were on about this, the diversion of this bus route, which was normally used to go on Wellington Road, but now it's coming down Hempstead Road and left into Churchill Road and goes up towards Heathfield Road and then turn left onto the Birchfield Road. And then they wanted to know whether this is a sort of a temporary measure or is it a permanent measure?
Sorry, I didn't realise.
How long it's gonna continue like this? And there were also on about some bus shelters. There's no bus shelters around Birchfield, around where this development is taking place, and people have to stand in rain and all that. And they wanted to know, why can't we just give them some sort of a bus shelter there? And they're also on about, the safety measures there, and also people crossing over this while this work is going on. So I don't know what sort of update you have, but it's up to you. So
Okay.
give us the update, and then people have the opportunity to ask you a question.
Okay, sure. So we'll start with the number 11. So the number 11 service was one of the services in the area that was experiencing quite a lot of delays, like quite, considerable delays. So what National Express and Transport for West Midlands decided that it would be best to split the route in order to shorten these delays, because just unfortunately everything in the area is obviously subject to the same congestion that you yourselves as residents are experiencing. So in order to try and shorten that as much as they could, that they have split the route, as you will know, and there's a map as in everything, all the information is printed on the National Express website and Transport for West Midlands, etc., which I'm happy to forward. But it is a temporary measure. They will go back to the normal route the minute, all the works are finished and they consider, that it won't be detrimental to the service anymore. So it is just simply a temporary measure in line with the other temporary measures that are online to kind of help mitigate against obviously all the works that are happening. So it's not a permanent change to the service, they will revert back as soon as they can, really. So hopefully that answers. Is there any questions on that particular aspect before I move on?
What is the time scale on that? You said it's going to go back to a normal route. What is the time scale on that?
Well, I don't have any information on when they will do that, because that will be subject to just when they start to complete the different aspects of the scheme and the traffic management starts to ease. So when it'll really be up to National Express and Transport for West Midlands, but as soon as they know, they will definitely share the information, because it'll be good news. But in the minute I have the information myself, I'm happy to come back and let you know.
Okay, I got Helga. She got her end.
Yeah, hi Greta, hiya. The bus is diverted down my road, right, which is a very busy road at the best of times. We have great fun viewing the additional congestion that the number 11 now causes, and there's been one or two very near misses, particularly when the children are going to school, because bus can't pass, has to wait, and the traffic backs up, and all sorts of problems are going on. The other issue is because Churchill Road has speed bumps. I'm woken frequently in the early hours of the morning by the sound of the number 11 bus happily speeding down my road, bumping along the speed bumps, which can't be good for the infrastructure of the road, let alone the way my windows shake. We're also quite concerned, particularly from local Birchfield residents, that there was no consultation at all about the diversion and no risk assessment made on the impact of the diversion, particularly on our elders, our older people that live locally, who now have no access to a bus route. If you can't walk very far, and we're finding as well now that Ubers and taxis won't come into Perry Barr because of the congestion, they can't get anywhere. And Mike will want to talk about bus shelters, because being told it was a temporary measure, it's been going on for months and months and months. And we see people standing in pouring rain and vertical sleet waiting for the bus to come without any thought given to putting a bus shelter up, whether it be a temporary one or not. And those are the issues that we feel very strongly about. And I do understand that you're not the bus person, but it's just these arbitrary decisions that are taken without thinking about what the consequences are.
Okay, well, I can certainly take the issues that you're experiencing with the number 11 service going down Churchill Road back to Transport for West Midlands to see what they know about this and see if there's anything we can do about that. And I can certainly come back and let you know what is what have they done, what can they do, what will they do aspect of it. With regards to the temporary shelters, I have, I suppose, maybe a bit of good news there, in that they're almost finished a couple of the temporary they've almost finished on that particular section. So a couple of the temporary bus stops won't be needed in the next, say, several weeks. So once the A34 works are finished in that particular area, Transport for West Midlands will then go in and install the bus shelter on the permanent one, or where you used to get the bus stop. So actually in the next several weeks, some of them will revert back to where they were.
I don't understand that.
Okay.
So the A34 are currently doing works just now, right, on where the bus stops used to be. So when they finish, Transport for West Midlands will then go in and install the shelters, because the shelters are done by Transport for West Midlands as opposed to Birmingham City Council. So once we've finished, that allows Transport for West Midlands to go in and install the shelter, which then allows you to then pick up the service, because there'll be nothing stopping that. Okay.
We got Andrew Simmons with us. Andrew, you got your end up.
Yes, yeah, it's a couple of points really, Councillor Hussain. I mean, you mentioned splitting the route, and I can see the logic, in the sense that the number 11, that some of the buses now start in Erdington, and in other words, they've sort of phased the route, if you like, but it's a diversion, I think, that's causing the problem, and I don't quite understand the logic of the diversion. I'm personally affected because I travel on the 11 bus every day, so I now have to get off at Church Road, and I have to walk down Wellington Road, to where I work. Splitting the route, that there's some logic to that, in the sense of buses, in other words, buses not going round the whole of the outer circle, But actually some starting at Erdington and others finishing at Erdington. That would make sense with or without the work at Perry Barr. But the diversion, I think, is a thing that I don't quite understand the logic of that. But also signage is also an issue. Not just the bus shelters. The lack of bus shelters, especially around one stop on the Birchfield Road. But the fact that there's no signage, and I've had people coming to me saying, well, we know where's the bus stop for where's the 31 bus stop or the 33 bus stop, or people can't find where the bus stops are. So there's a real need for some signage as well as shelters, I think.
So I'm unsure about. I can certainly go to Transport for West Midlands and ask them what. To get obviously further information on the diversion as to why they specifically have done that. There will be a reason that I'm just not privy to that information at the moment, but I can certainly get it for you. With regards to the signage, I'm unsure myself because I can't go and see it, unfortunately, but I have spoken to colleagues who have been on site and they have seen the signage, so I'm unsure, is it a specific area that doesn't have it, or is it a specific temporary one that just doesn't have it?
I think the problem is that, yes, you've got the temporary bus stops which say which buses stop there, but there's no sort of travel shop or anything that guides people. So you've got people coming out of the one-stop shopping centre and they don't know which direction to walk in.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that because
yes.
I was under the impression, Transport for West Midlands had assured us that actually there was signage put in the one stop, including a map.
I've not seen it other than temporary bus stops this way. I've not seen any signage.
Yeah, I can certainly forward a map onto yourself so that you're very clear yourselves, and hopefully you can pass that along. But I'm surprised. I can ask my colleagues to double check with it. I can go to the person who is a manager for One Stop just to make sure that actually we can have more of the maps put up inside. Because as far as I was aware, they were put in. So I'm sorry to hear that, but I can certainly see if we can do something to get more of the maps that show exactly where the temporary bus stops are.
But I think it's also having some signs, literally having some signs that say this way to,
yeah, and I thought that they were
yes.
put in, but I can certainly double check, and if they aren't, we can certainly get them. We can do something, certainly.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Cheers.
Yeah, no problem.
Anybody else want a question? John Rose, you're waving hand. Yeah, I got your mic as well. So let John ask a question and then I'll go for it. John, can you hear?
John.
Wake up, John.
Yeah. No, I think it's not mute.
Yes, John, we're trying to talk to you.
John, can you hear us? We can't hear him.
He's not on mute. It might be a fault with his microphone. It's showing that he's not on mute.
Can somebody send him a message or something?
I just have, yeah. Diversion, he says in chat, diversion has been several months, but nothing on NX website and no stop.
While he's sorting himself out, you can ask a question. I'm
just reading out what John has said, Councillor, in the chat.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can, with regards to it being on the NX website, it definitely is. I have seen it myself. There is a map there, and I'm happy to, what I'll do is I'll put the link when I'm finished to the map that shows you exactly where all the temporary bus stops are. But there is definitely one on the NX website, and there will also be a link from it from Transport for West Midlands because they have the Plan Your Journey function on there, so that will link to it.
I think the problem is, there's a lot of people are not online.
That's right.
So we've got elderly people coming out of One Stop.
Yeah, no, that is definitely a case. Yeah.
People are saying to me they've given up going to One Stop because they can't work out where the bus stops are, and
And particularly with the number 11, because it's now split, we've had people telling us that school children have been flung off the bus because the bus doesn't go where they want to go. And the children don't know where they've got to go because it's not clear which side of the road you have to get the bus. unless you've been to see it, it's very difficult to appreciate how difficult it is. It really is, and it's a bit disappointing that you haven't been to see it, and understand
Well,
that residents are putting up with.
Let's go to
unfortunately, I
Mike.
can't go and visit it at the moment, but
Okay.
that's for personal reasons. But I certainly can take back the concerns that you've raised and back to Transport for West Midlands and NX Bus and see if we can put. I mean, I do know that they've had staff on site. They've had NX staff on site occasionally where they can spare them in order to direct people. I don't know if maybe anyone's come across them at some points, but obviously it's difficult. But I've certainly, I mean, I was speaking to NX recently, and they felt that everything was in place. But if you're telling me as residents that it isn't, then I can certainly take it back to them and see if we can do more.
It might not be that it isn't. This is residents' perceptions and what residents talk to us about. So there's something about the way that the information is presented in a fashion that local, particularly elderly, non-English speaking residents can understand. And by sticking a sign up going bus this way is absolutely no use. If you've got a trolley full of shopping, or you've got a disability, or you've got care responsibilities, and you can't work out where to go. As Andrew said, people just don't go and shop anymore. Because it's just too complicated.
Yeah, I mean, the maps certainly would help because they're very clear on where they are. So I'm surprised that they're not up and
How they're
around.
distributed, maybe. It's worth Transport West Midlands having to think a bit more about, where they put their leaflets. And as Andrew said, a lot of our elders aren't on social media.
I think we got Mike waiting to ask a question. Mike, you're waiting to ask a question?
Chair, I don't know whether this is relevant. We're discussing Birchfield, and I asked for that to be on the agenda. So I hope it's not just to do with buses. I know the problem with the buses because I've experienced it myself coming from town and having to wait 10 minutes before I could get off because the driver can't drop you the Livingston Road side. Anyway, my concern is the pollution that is obviously rising on Wellington Road and Birchfield Road. I want to know whether this is being monitored. I doubt it, but is it being monitored by groups such as Sustrans? Anybody aware of that?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, when we had a meeting at Governor's Studio some time back, when we had this face-to-face meeting, and we had somebody from, I don't know which department this guy was from, but he did say that they have this monitoring station somewhere around the locality.
No.
So I don't know personally whether they do monitor or not, but this is something we can find out.
When we raised it at that physical meeting, Councillor, and people were very good and said, oh yes, take it back. And then there was a very lengthy email correspondence, which I'm sure Mike has kept diligently as he does, which actually turned out there is no monitoring being done because all the monitoring for the clean air zone is only done within the clean air zone. There's no monitoring done of the interim impact of the work at Barr, or more widely and longer scale, the impact of the clean air zone, which is pushing traffic out.
I think as long as I can remember, I think somebody did mention that they got this monitoring station outside of the city.
Let's have a look at it, but Mike's quite right.
Yeah. Anyway, this is something we can ask Leslie to find out whether, I don't know whether Giulietta will be able to answer this, or whether she have any knowledge on that.
I'm not aware of there being any air quality monitoring stations in the Birchfield area. However, if there was one before the works, if I'm not entirely sure myself if Birchfield classes is under an air quality monitoring area. No, so if it is, then there would be something, but if there isn't, then there won't be. No, but and there won't be anything put in because of the works at the moment.
Would you be able to find out for us?
Yeah, certainly I can. I can
you,
contact
can
their
you find it
quality
and email
team.
me or email, well, you know, if you email me, then I can pass it on.
Yeah,
to
certainly I can email the team who deals with that
Yeah,
and see if there is anything in the area.
Okay. So have you got other updates as far as the development is concerned in Barr?
Sorry, Councillor, I didn't catch that, I'm afraid.
I said, have you got any other update, you know, in terms of the development taking place around Barr?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I know it's generally bad news because we are, for you guys, it's still in the midst, but we are making considerable progress across all of the projects, and you should hopefully be seeing you know, small kind of completions along the route as you're out and about in the area. So for example, along the A34, you should have seen quite a lot of the paving has been completed. They've done a lot of the big, well, obviously they've done the major works on the Birchfield Island. We're now just at the completing stage and putting in the concrete, etc. The rail station, you should see that the building is now complete and that they're just doing the kind of outside where they'll put the bronze cladding on. They're at that stage, but actually the buildings are waterproof and they're doing the interior just now. So that's all moving along nicely. The Alexander Stadium works are coming on leaps and bounds actually, but they're different in the sense that they're quite in a confined space. So you can't see it from the outside, you can't see the progress inside. But they are making really good progress there, along with Sprint, which is coming along nicely along all the routes, not just the ones in Barr, but the other ones. And the enabling works have commenced for the bus interchange. So it is all coming together, and in the next couple of months, you will start to see things start to complete. So there will be, you will start to see things easing in the next couple of months as we go into 2022. So we are in the final stages. So I know it's not, the best of news for you because you are still living with us, but we are in the final stretch. So, you know, obviously we thank you for your patience, but just know that it is coming to an end, and you should start to see the kind of the benefits from all the inconvenience that you've had over all this time. But that is the general kind of update on the whole project, the whole program of works, if you like.
Okay. Have anybody got questions or comments to make? No? Yeah. Andrew, yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's a very specific comment, and it's about a memorial to a police officer that lost his life on the Birchfield Road, and it was actually right next to the Birchfield Road, and it's now been moved back, I think, temporarily, but we noticed the other day that it's been graffitied, and we're just wondering about what's going to happen to that memorial in the long term. I mean, I did contact the police memorial, committee about it, and they were aware that I'm aware that there was some discussion about this memorial and what might happen to it. But obviously, it is concerned. It obviously has been moved temporarily, but as I say, it's not being given the respect that it should be, receiving. And I'm just wondering, whether that could be raised as. And we'd like to know what's going to happen to that memorial.
Yeah.
Sorry, was this addressed to myself or the councillor there, Mr. Simon?
Well, I guess it would be both, really.
Yeah.
As to,
I mean,
yeah.
It's not within my scope, but I can certainly find out the department that liaises with the police department on that and see if there's any update on what it is. I'm assuming the graffiti is just, as in, it's not been defaced as it's been moved back. It's been.
Yeah, someone sprayed paint over the
right. Okay,
memorial.
so it's just right.
Yeah.
That kind of graffiti, right? Okay, I can see.
Yes.
I can certainly take it to the department that deals that kind of thing and see what is the what normally happens with that, because I am unsure myself. But
Yeah.
I've made a note, and I certainly will take
Okay,
it back.
yes, the question is not only A, the graffiti, which is hugely disappointing, but B, what's the long-term plan for the memorial? Is it going to go back to where it was? Or is it going to be moved somewhere else? And also, how can we prevent it being graffitied again?
I can certainly take those questions back because unfortunately I've never had to deal with a memorial. I
No.
don't know the it's
Every
not
day-
within
every day's learning, isn't it? Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
my department within Birmingham City Council, but I'll certainly get the right person and find out the right information for you and come back as soon as I can.
That's great. Thanks very much.
Okay. Anyone else? Anybody else want to make comment or before we thank you later?
Thank you.
No, okay, then if that is the case, then can I thank you later on behalf of the World Forum, and thank you for coming and giving us an update.
Yeah, no problem.
I
Thank you
hope,
very much.
I hope the resident found this useful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And
I'm going
Yeah.
to put that link to the map for the temporary bus stops
okay,
in the link in the chat for you. And if there's anything else you guys need apart from the questions that I'm going to take away and come back
Yeah.
with, just let me know. Let Leslie know, and I'll come back with it.
okay.
But thank you very much, everyone.
And and if you
Well,
could
thank you.
give us that information which residents asked for this evening, yes? In terms of the monitoring station and also.
Yeah, I certainly will, Councillor. Yeah, and come back as soon as I can.
Thank you.
Thank
you. You're nice. Yeah. Okay. Now this brings me to this final item, which is any other matter of local urgent concern. If you want to raise anything under that, yes. Helga.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor. Councillor, I have mentioned this to you before, and it's exacerbated, which is the right word, by the diversion of number 11. But there's huge concerns about the safety of the junction at Westminster Road, Churchill Road, and Birchfield, which you know is a triangle. You know what it's like because you drive around. Seeing that many near misses, school children, you know, all sorts, many more dwelling houses, more cars, all sorts. Can something be done, or can we have a survey or somebody to have a look at what could be done on that junction? I think certainly.
Yeah. What I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the local engineer.
Okay, good.
To do some feasibility study.
Thank you.
Because the council in the mainstream would not pay for anything we're going to propose there.
Okay.
Right. Now we have a devolved funding from transportation.
Okay. Yeah.
Some of 10 grand.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And I will have to find out whether if we put some sort of a lights there.
Yeah.
Or change the traffic regulations there. Then how much that's going to cost us, right? And if it's between you know 0 to 10, then obviously I will ask him to pursue with that.
Certainly, maybe even
which I will share with yourself.
Yeah. But it might just be something really simple about stopping a right turn into Birchfield Road from that triangle, because what happens is everybody blocks up. And then nobody gets anywhere, and then you get all this sort of road rage stuff.
This is what I'm saying. In the new year, in January, soon after the holiday, I'll bring. I will ask the local engineer to come out and see what best can be done there. Right. I know you raised it at the last meeting.
Yeah. And can you ensure that the engineer comes out when it is busy, not at 3 o'clock? Well, not at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because
Yeah, I will ask him to come at the busy time.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll be out there. And if you want to come and join me, I will have no problem.
I will do. Because that links in with Mike's point.
I will inform you when I get the time off.
That links in with Mike's point about pollution, because that junction is so difficult.
No, I totally agree with you, because I do understand that there's a problem there.
Yeah, thank you.
That. Now, I did have I don't know whether you want me to do that or not, but I did have some information come through to myself and the councillors for Aston on this development which is taking place on A34 Barr Highway. Now, I don't know whether you want me to read this out, and you might find this useful. I don't know. You want me to read it out to you?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What it says, dear councillors, I wish to keep you updated with the scheme progress on. So this message is to let you know that the press statement below will be issued later today. So they issued this press list, which I'm going to read out to you, right? I don't know, you might have already seen that in the press. The A34 highway improvement scheme at Barr has been on site for 18 months, and the bulk of work is now completed. In spite of pressure arising from the COVID-19 pandemic, the scheme has successfully over a range of hurdles and reached some significant milestone, completing the dismantling the flyover line over 3,008 meters of new block paving. As with the all constructions project, there have been a few extra challenges that have had to be addressed along the way, all of which have required additional time to resolve. One of the main ones has been complex engineering required for construction of a new bridge in the middle of what is current Birchfield Island is encountered some unexpected construction issues that had to be overcome and required additional time. Overall, the scheme that is being delivered is so significantly bigger than the outset. It now includes the Barr interchange, which is being constructed by Birmingham City Council on behalf of Transport and West Midland, as well as the new bus line and public realm work on Aldridge Road. Combining these projects into a wider A34 highway improvement scheme has a number of benefits. This includes reducing the number of construction interface and dependency between the various projects in the area, enabling better traffic management and improving certainly delivery for the scheme as all. As a result of all these factors, the new larger A34 scheme will now complete on the basis across the spring 2022 in the time for the area summer festival. Birmingham City Council is working closely with its A34 improvement scheme contractors, Tarmac, to explore options for bringing forward milestone dates wherever possible. We will continue to provide update on this scheme and construction progress. This is what we had this morning, and it came from Andy Everest. Is the man.
Hi, Councillor. I'm still on the line if anyone has any questions regarding the announcement on the update.
What's it telling us then? Is it just it's been delayed or?
No, so what's happening is that the A34 scheme isn't just the A34 scheme anymore. Yeah. It's taken on board the Aldridge Road works and also the bus interchange. So what's going to happen over the next so basically the theory is, and the way it generally does work for the best, is to have just one set of people delivering, especially in this kind of confined area. So obviously the A34 works are going on. Obviously the Aldridge Road is right next to it, as is the bus interchange. So the idea is that one traffic management company handles all the traffic management that need to be in place for that to make sure that everything runs as smoothly as can possibly be. We then limit the amount of contractors on site. We then limit, do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's already on site, they're already familiar, they're already, they are doing it. So what that means is it's just that we've taken on board these two extra pieces into the A34 works in general. It's now a bigger project, but what it just means is we'll just have a set of phased delivery dates for everything. So there'll be things that will finish sooner rather than later, or maybe at a different time than what we originally envisioned, just because we've taken on board these extra aspects, but it does have benefits in the sense that you limit the amount of new people on board, the amount of handover you need to do from one contractor to the next, etc. So there are quite a lot of benefits, and it just means we can steam ahead with getting everything done as quickly as possible, and then out of your hair once and for all.
Okay.
I promise at some point you guys will never see me again. I promise.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions? But that's basically what is being announced, is that we've combined these, so now it's a larger project. So whilst the end date in theory for the entire project is now later than what is planned, throughout the next couple of months, you're going to get things that are starting to finish. So you will start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I promise, I swear, you will start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Things are really, from the pictures that I've seen, that it is really progressing, but you will start to see things start to be ticked off. Oh, we don't have that anymore. The more work that they powered through on the station, for example, means that we can maybe bring forward the date for removing the lane closure in front of that.
Okay.
Which obviously interferes with other things later on. It's just basic. I know it's of no comfort to yourselves, but the less people we have on board in terms of different contractors, different organisations, it just makes things easier. So Transport for West Midlands handing us these two specific extra schemes, whilst it gives us a longer end date for the entire project, it does mean that we can trim things down here and there.
Okay.
So I promise you will not see me in the future, because we will be finished people.
Thank you. I understand you.
Anyone else? Now, I've got a couple of things to bring to your attention. I think you might find this useful. The Willow Road, if you know the stretch between Amstead Road to the junction of Eatfield Road and Littles Road. The police is proposing to have that turn that into sort of a red route. Myself and Councillors Hussain, because that Willow Road, that patch falls into two wards, which is Littles and our ward, Birchfield. And we had a meeting with the police. And we asked them that if they carried out a consultation. They said they did. So what we did say to them, what I did say to them, that we're going to do our own consultation. And over the weekend, I went out there and I've done my consultation. And the majority of the people, they're not in favor of having a red route there, because they were saying that if the parking spaces are taken away, then obviously that will have an impact on the businesses. So on that basis, it looks that we, both councillors, will be sort of opposing that scheme. Whether they're going to bring some other scheme forward, I don't know. So that's where we are with this Willow Road. I thought I'd bring to your attention. You might find this some useful. The other thing is the Helga, as you know, because you wrote a objection email to licensing, and I did as well.
And John,
they have withdrawn the application or the right. Okay, there were some difficulties with that application, and now it's been they might reply again. But if they do reply again, then obviously we're gonna do the same again to object to that. Yeah.
That was for the people that don't know.
Variation of hours at
24-hour
road,
selling of alcohol on Churchvale.
So that's the two things.
By the garage.
I mean, I have been pressing this fleet and waste management over these fridges, which are now being picked up. I've been raising this at the Labour group meeting. I have been every opportunity I have raised those issues, and I also raise about leaf clearing on the streets, because I think the leaf clearings hasn't been done in our ward for somebody. I don't know why, but I have been taking these issues, with these appropriate people, and they keep promising me that they're going to do something, but everything remains to be seen.
Because the leaf, there's been quite a lot of flooding with the rain that we've had, particularly, as you know, the bottom of Wellsbourne, you know,
Yeah, it's the top of that road. Yeah, I
yeah,
know. And I ever
you
reported
can
that
swim
as
your
well.
way to Berry Barr down that lake that creates itself up that corner, to be honest with you. And that's just, and I've not seen any leaf clearance or anything for years and years, and it just gets impacted, doesn't it? You know, it builds up.
Well, I don't know what the problem is, because every time I speak to Justin, I speak to Les, William, I speak to all these relevant people, you know, they keep saying to me, they will be done, they will be done. Well, but for some reason, you know, they're not coming out. I don't know why. But I see one lorry, you know, doing some clearance this week. I think it was yesterday somewhere in Birchfield. They were doing some.
But I tell you what's really interesting, and sort of we talked about this within the forum, is that our more known grotty spots like Church Vale Triangle and the Robert Road Triangle opposite, which is regularly dumped, seems to be cleared on a more regular basis, because I know I'm not complaining about it as much as used to. So I'm wondering whether those two particular areas, councillor, are now sort of in the sight of the picker-upper people. But then we've got other grotty spots, Crompton Road all around there as well, which have just been.
Well, we got Crompton Road, we got bottom of Churchill Road, just before Westminster Road. We got a spot there. We got a spot on the corner of Crompton Road and Heathfield Road. We got Heathfield Avenue, College Grove and Hampstead Road. Right, they do come round and pick these dump stuff up, but unfortunately, people are not refining from dropping those dumping them. And I think this is the way the problem is, you see. And now I've been told that they are working towards using these cameras and all that. But if you remember, you know, they have prioritized 6 wards in the city. So if any camera is going to go up, they got to go up in those wards where there's more problem than ourselves. So so I'm talking to people like Justin, you know, saying that, you know, we need one here as well, you know, at least. College Grove is really bad, and it's also on the main road as well, you know, where every week you see is a pile of rubbish there, and it's eyesore. It's not nice, you know, it's terrible. So once we get some progress, I will obviously report back to you.
I mean, you know, just thank you ever so much, because you do keep picking up all the time, and you're very quick responding to emails and things, and it's hugely frustrating for everybody. But I think what we all need to do as local residents is, if where we see stuff that's dumped, is just constantly report it and just keep on and keep on and keep on. And I know that they're saying the COVID and all sorts of other stuff is delaying, and there's lots of sicknesses, but at some point we will see something happening, I'm sure. You know, it's just, you get a bit weary sometimes, don't you? You know, it's like, oh, not again, you know.
Okay, that's I think this is what I have to report to you. And I don't know whether you got any issue which you want me to take up before the holiday. And I know about this dump rubbish on Church Hill, which I'm working on. If there's any other issue, then I'm very happy to take them.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, if there's none, then can I thank? Yes, Andrew?
Andrew,
Andrew, you had your hand up.
Sorry. Yes, sorry. I know Denise was trying to contact me earlier, just to highlight the fact that there is a planning application for the Salvation Theatre on Westminster Road, which I think, you know, she's keen for people to look at and respond to. But my understanding, I did read it briefly the other day when I was walking past, and I think they're proposing to knock down part of the existing building. Obviously, part of the church is derelict anyway, and has been for a long time. But I think they're planning to build a new centre, but also some flats on that land.
So what she is proposing to do, what she is?
Well, this is immediately opposite Westminster Primary School, the Salvation Theatre, and I think from what Denise was saying, they're proposing to knock down most of the existing buildings, and build a new centre but also some flats, I think,
Yeah.
presumably for income generation. But I mean, I've not read the proposal in detail. So
She's gonna oppose that, or what's she gonna do?
I think she's just encouraging people to look at it. And
All right, okay.
I get the impression that she herself is not keen
Yeah,
on
but
the
normally,
proposal, but yeah.
Normally what I do, I wait for people to come back to me and say whether they got a.
I've not seen
concern.
that at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mike, have you seen that application? Is Mike still around? I've not seen that come to Birchfield Neighbourhood Forum.
Yeah.
Can somebody send either John?
I'll send you the number. I'll send you the number. I think the timescale's quite short. I mean, from what Denise was saying, they were quite late in putting up the notice. So I think they're looking for comments by the end of the month, by the end of December.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, I'll send you the number.
It's getting a bit hit and miss with planning applications. We used to automatically get them all for the ward, but now I get the sense you have to go and look for them yourself. And if somebody doesn't spot something, then we've missed an opportunity. I don't know what's happened there. But thank you, Andrew. And I'll share that round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that it then?
Yeah.
All right, with this, can I thank everybody for attending this meeting. And if we don't see each other or don't hear from each other, then I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we hope that we have a nice team. Yes.
Oh,
And
John,
you just look after yourself. And Leslie, if I don't talk to you tomorrow, then you enjoy your holiday and look after yourself. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Good
help.
night.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Happy
All right.
Christmas.
Good evening to you
Thanks
all.
very much.
Yeah,
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.